Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Uncle Warren the Guru, and today is going to be a very, 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 very special episode. Today, I want to show you a marketing tactic that you can use in the process of, well, having a coin. A lot of people out there develop coins specifically on Solana. A lot of people out there as well know how to do market manipulation. However, one thing that I've seen in my journey, specifically when it comes to Solana meme coins, is a lot of people that have money, unfortunately, don't have the proper either tools or either just means to create creative content to actually bring the market cap to multi-millions. Now, beyond content creative, right? Content creation, obviously the market manipulation is sometimes very well needed. The reason why I say that is because how many of you are there that may be listening to me right now and are traders and set up your algos or your, particular contracts to snipe into particular contracts depending on the sort of analyst that the contract has? For example, people I know may be setting, example, hold account. The hold account has to be a certain amount. The volume maybe has to be a certain amount. Maybe the name of the meme has to be categorized some amount because maybe Trump memes or something of that category of whatever particular category was sending that day. Whatever it may be, there's a certain filter criteria that is basically brings in FOMO to sniping and then goes into actual normie traders that actually see the project and then ape into it. And the market cap goes on from there. And we all know too, at the end of the day, without a strong floor, you can't really do anything. But beyond these things, as far as strong floor, volume, the name of the meme and the project, let's talk about the core of the marketing of that, the project itself, and what what would motivate people to essentially feel like they need to essentially ape into something. What makes them think, oh, this is great. Let me go ahead and, continue with it. Well, shilling is one of the things that people have been doing for quite a long time, to be completely honest with you. This is the state of essentially going on Twitter and finding, essentially a community or developing a community and basically starting to repetitively launch just basic tweets that kind of support the narrative of that coin, which is a way of doing it. No hate, no shame. It's a way that has been done consistently and it has worked. Now, what I want to do to you today is I want to bring to the table another way of doing it. Another way that, honestly, only creatives like myself can really do. And what I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to take the time as well to show you how to do this in 4K as easy peasy. So, what are we going to do? Well, I would like to create some vertical content specifically for my X community and also perhaps for TikTok. TikTok is a way to instantly overnight get a lot of people engaged into what you have to offer. So what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to make something pretty funny. Well, at least I think it'll be funny. We're going to make it obviously Deadpool related because our project currently is Deadpool on Solana. And we're going to even further bring in some celebrity voices so that way you guys can understand how to even use that for leverage. Now, there's a bad ways and good ways of using this, to be completely frank and honest with you. Yeah. The bad way about using it is if you're like, for example, like Sahil or, a dev, a diabolical dev that consistently rugs on people, you might use it for LARP. And what I mean by that, specifically LARP, is, and I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys today. This is something that I'm going to show you. I'm going to just be very, uppity up and just kind of show you what's going on, right? So let me give you an example of an individual that hit me up on the side. His name is Sahil. He is a diabolical dev. It's basically, essentially the same person as the devil, if not worse. No, I'm just kidding, but am I really? But the reason why I'm talking to you is because money has no fucking colors. Like, if a person's coming to me and saying they need me to do something, if it's not illegal, I'm going to go ahead and pursue it, regardless of where they're going to use it. Now, this is what's happening. Okay, he came to me, and he essentially wanted me to essentially clone a voice of a celebrity because he's known for celebrity launches. He did Caitlyn Jenner. He's done Iggy Azalea, and I guess he's working on some type of porn star. And I think her name's Mia Khalifa. And so I went ahead and I got the original voice. I'll play it right now. Listen to this.
And I get come up to by this guy and his girlfriend, and we were interrupted in the middle of talking and eating, and he said, "Hey, Mia Khalifa, can I get a picture with you?" And I looked up at him and I'm like, "No, we're eating." And I said it just like that. Like it was a rude way, but it was also very rude for him to come up while someone was actively in the middle of a conversation. And after I said that,
all right, and you get the point. And now also, so as you can see here, clearly as day, that's the original Miss Mia Khalifa's voice. And for those that don't know who Mia Khalifa is, I'll go ahead and give you a quick demonstration real quick. So this chick here, aka porn star turned content creator, I guess. Anyways, with that being said, she's got 27.6 million subscribers. And so at the time, Sahil wanted to essentially LARP, aka live action roleplay, where maybe his community or particular people that he's trying to bring into a contract and use it for bad. Again, I'm going to show you this just for educational purposes. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right now, we're talking about the ugly and the bad. So let's go back to that Telegram channel so that way you guys can see the clone. Now, once I was able to receive the actual what's it called, original, right? I went ahead and created this one.
Hi, Sahil. Yes, so just to recap, we are doing this with Justin now, and
when he heard it, he was like, "Well, you missed Sahil. It's pronounced Sahil. So I went ahead and I cooked it up. Had to shill my coin, of course, to him. And then from that point on, it's like this.
hi, Sahil. Yes, so just to recap, we are doing this with Justin now and planning a public sale to raise $1 million and launch this weekend, correct? Are you available for a quick call later today for a quick brief, love?
And that's simple. Now, what I want to do is let's go over on how to do this and what I would do when it comes to like basically good ways of using this, and rather than using it to fool people and bringing them people into contract and then burning bridges and shit. That's never a good thing. But I definitely wanted to show you this because at the end of the day, it's just it's a fucking job, and I prefer to use this particular skill set that I'm about to teach you for good. And what we're going to do today is we're going to actually clone. Actually, let's clone KOL. We're going to clone Orangey's voice, and we'll create a scene where Orangey and Deadpool are maybe having some intimate time together or something like that. Shall we? So to do this, what we're going to first need to do is we're going to need to get a sample voice. So to do that, you can simply usually get interview footage. You can get, times maybe YouTube clips. I'm going to go ahead and go back to this video of Orangey that he put out a few weeks ago. And he's basically just talking, right? And so I can literally grab this audio and I only need about 30 to 40 seconds of it for me to essentially bring his character to life, so to speak, as far as him talking. Now, what I would like to do with this is bring it in a way where Deadpool and maybe him have some type of interaction, and then we could put it on the community, and hey, if he interacts with it, great. If not, the community can essentially, roll with the punches. So let's go ahead and click on this first and play this.
You're going to lose all your money if you invest in them. This is pretty simple stuff. You need to check if these coins that are coming out are bundled. How can you do that? The easiest way that I personally do it is by filtering them out. I rarely look at newly created. There's just too many.
So he's talking with literally the most perfect audio you can probably imagine. So what we can do is a few things here. We can, if you have OBS, you can go ahead and you can just record directly from, your computer if you have it set up like that. Or you can just go to like a YouTube to MP3 website, which allows you to simply paste the link of the YouTube video into this website. And then from there, it'll essentially just give you the MP3. There's a lot of different websites that offer like this particular service, and you can do your due diligence to find which one works best for you. But because some of them are kind of like, it's not say scammy, but they just don't work. However, if you find a good one, I would definitely recommend you basically just download it or bookmark it, just so that way you're good to go. And as far as the quality, you want to try to get the best quality possible, but sometimes, 128 is going to be the best you're going to be able to get. So if that is the case, then just take it or leave it, but it's not going to make or break or anything. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to download the actual MP3. I'm going to pause the video, and then once I have it, we'll go ahead and grab our original sample. All right, so I downloaded the file already, and now I'm in CapCut. I'm going to go ahead and just play a little bit, and so I can just hear where to take the actual original footage to clone.
That I track early on. That's
We'll start it right there. We'll take a cut.
thing. And as you can see, I had a lot of wallets that I tracked early on. That's what all of these emojis right here on the chart are Nova. And a lot of them sold right here. Some of them are still buying. All of these wallets, I can go ahead and find new ones by going to the top traders of these tokens and naming them. For example, Sloppy, who I track right here, was the second top trader on this token, and he ended up making 4.8K. Just like this, I can, go ahead and
So pretty much, we got a good, nice sample. I'll go ahead and just take off a little bit of the front and the back. And what we're going to do is just simply export this footage. And I will export it now as a MP3 and save it as ORNG voice. I don't know the fuck. All right, let's just throw it in like there. All right, cool. Export. Bam. Okay, so we're litty there. Let's go back to Chrome just to kind of finalize this process. So we're going to use today 11 Labs. There's a few different websites you can use to do this, by the way. 11 Labs and another one called Play. I believe HT. They're always having like pretty much the latest and greatest AI battles with each other for the last like few years now. Honestly, 11 Labs is pretty good. Not gonna hold it. There's other alternatives you can use though, however, to do this, but for this demonstration purposes, I will show you how to do it with 11 Labs. All right. So with that being said, you're gonna have to get at least a $5 account just to make clones. So just be aware of that. I'm gonna go ahead and log into mine real quick. 1 second. Now that we're in 11 Labs, we're gonna go ahead and click on Create a Voice here, and I'm gonna click on Instant Voice Cloning, which is clone your voice within only 10 seconds of audio. By the way, there's also professional voice cloning as well. You can create the most realistic digital replica of your voice. Requires at least 30 minutes of clean audio. And for this purposes, I'm gonna show you what this instant can do. So from that point on, I'm going to click on upload, and like I just showed you, I'm going to go to the file and bring in that orangey voice, which is plenty enough audio, by the way, that I was able to, extract. And we'll click on next from there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and name this one. We'll call it RNG KOL or some shit. I don't know. Cool. Let's call him Angel. All right. And Orange Coal. Right. Boom. And I don't need and that's pretty much it. You could just hit save. Oh, actually, let's do add a label. Okay, so the label needs to be my bad. Hold on. Please set values for each label. Okay. So let's go ahead and first make this English. And that language is fine. KOL from crypto. I hereby confirm that. And I believe that's it. Please set value. Am I missing something here? Man, gender, accent, age. I'm tripping here. Make it a male. Neutral. All right, cool. That's fine. Middle age? I don't know. He's middle age. He's fucking more like a kid. I don't know. Fuck it. And all right. For that, with that now, we can do is we can actually do text to speech now, which is what we want to do. We want to simply do text to speech to see
in every
how this
breed
sounds.
there is a hint of adventure.
That sounds pretty on point, I believe. Let's go ahead and actually have it type something. We're gonna go edit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually do text to speech here, and I'm gonna click left side, and now we have orangey selected. So I can actually type in anything now. So just for just test purposes, let's go ahead and type something in here like, um, hey boys, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit. All right, so let's see if we could talk shit about the project. You know, how can someone sue if they're talking shit about you? But I have an idea how we can kind
Hey
of like
boys, I
make
heard
the.
about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
All right, so it's sounding like it's getting there. I feel like we can just work with this voice a little bit better though. So it has this thing called stability where you can change the robust or creativeness of it. I'm gonna bring the creativeness down to maybe like it was on robust. Let's see what creative sounds like. So I'm gonna regenerate that now. It gives you two different options. And here we go. Let's listen to both
Hey
options.
boys, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
Yeah, that's another one.
Hey boys, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
All right, so let's check out neutral. See how that sounds. Regenerate. There it
Hey
is.
boys, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit. Hey boys, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
I think the creative one out of all of them sounded like the most believable one. You know? Let's check out this thing called 11v3 alpha. And basically, I believe it enhances the way maybe the whole thing kind of sends out to you, I guess. I don't know, maybe. Um, let's go ahead and click on enhance alpha. And then went ahead and just like made a couple different emotions, I guess. And I'm gonna click on generate the speech again. And here we go.
Hey boys, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
Now we're getting a lot better as far as emotions and sounding more real. Let's check this one.
Hey boys, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana.
That definitely does not sound like him. Wow. So I mean, you got to play with this obviously to get the best choice.
Hey
the best
boys,
one.
I heard about some project called Deadpool on
Nope.
Hey boys, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bull.
So I'm gonna go ahead and now go back to robust and see how that sounds now that we did the whole emotional thing, or for the as far as undo those things and generate again.
Hey boys, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't. Hey boys, I heard
Yeah.
about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit. Hey boys, I heard about some project called
So you know what? I think the best one we were able to generate is definitely those creative ones. So I'm gonna do that one.
Hey boys, I heard about some project called.
And what does he say, by the way? Does he say boys? Let me just double check and see his own tagline, because sometimes it's best to kind of just use their own voice, honestly, in the whole gimmick of the whole fucking episode or whatever you're trying to create. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to his episode real quick, right? Let's see how he starts that shit.
I've made over $2 million at long some Solana here, 10x that is like long.
Okay, hold on.
I've made over $2 million at meme coin cycle. Let's get started. By the way, before the video continues, if you guys ever want to trade crypto futures like long and short Bitcoin, Solana, even meme coins, the first link in the description down below is a link to sign up to Blowfin, and we make some profit how to avoid rugs. There are so many coins coming out every single second that, I mean,
So with him, you gotta like really sound like you just like chewing on something every day. Like it's gotta sound like there's like some type of shit in your mouth. Pause. I mean, he already knows what it is, so like it's not like he's ain't been made fun of this shit before. But that's what it really gotta sound like. I gotta sound like like you're constantly chewing on a slushy. So let's go back to 11 Labs and see what we could cook up with. All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna go to, so let's say, hey boys. I'm gonna say, look, just goes right to the point, right? And then let's regenerate that shit. All right, let's see how this sounds.
Look, I heard about some project called.
Nope.
I heard about some project called Deadpool and Solana. Don't tell me you're actually gonna ape into that bullshit.
No, I don't know. I think I need a little bit more slushy. A little bit more slushy. Let's try it neutral.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually gonna ape into that bullshit. Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool and Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
I'm not liking that one either. So, you know what? In this case, there's a possibility that, you know, we could get away with this shit, obviously, because it's not too much we're going to do here. I would prefer more of a slushy, you know, sound, and it may prefer me to do the 5-minute scaling training. But you know what? For this whole YouTube video and this whole case study, I think it's going to be easy just to kind of put something out that, you know, we can easily add to the storyline. So he comes and he says, "Look, I heard about this. Let's grab this line first, okay? So let me generate one, maybe a creative one. I like the creative ones of all the ones I did.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me. Look, I heard about some project called. Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
Oh, I'm not feeling that one either.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool. Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape.
It's like it wants to fix his actual speech impediments, you know. So let me know what I'm gonna check into 11 multi-single V2 and see if we get any differences here. What happens? I'm looking for slushy.
look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
A little bit better.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit. Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit. Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
What the fuck? All right, so I think that right here is fine. Let's do the stability more stable and see how that sounds.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think that'll be the best we can use for this case study. So I'm gonna download that version now. And while that's going, what we can do is we're gonna come up with a couple lines. So besides him saying that, you're gonna say, so I have, you know, by being first of all, by being like a creative, you just kind of like get things in your brain that kind of like almost like a painter does, right? And how they paint art. They don't like just sit there and it just goes, it flows. So right now I got a flow in my brain that's telling me a cool little storyline that we could potentially come up with. So he's gonna be there basically, you know, looking at the camera and shit like on his YouTube show. Matter of fact, we'll do that. We'll grab his shit from his YouTube, right? It'll make it look super official. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab him.
To always be looking at how many percent.
So when he's talking on his shit, he usually is in this little like bar where like I am, like this little like, you know, video bar, or he might see himself like pretty much using this. Now the great thing about this is I can really manipulate this footage to, especially right here. So what I'm gonna do is, this is pretty good footage. I'm gonna go ahead and take this footage real quick. And now that I have his audio, I can literally lip sync the mouth to be anything I want. And I think it'd be super super dope, to be honest with you, to have him do a fucking AI review on, you know, the actual movie, right? What about if Orangey did an AI review? Now, obviously, Orangey's not doing an AI review. This is like the behind the scenes, but it'd be kind of cool, and I think it'd be a good little shill to bring more people into the market cap because it allows people to also get educated at the same time. Again, this is just for educational purposes. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna we're gonna do just that. All right. So we gotta take this footage first of all, right? We gotta get the footage. Now I was able to grab the MP3. However, I didn't think that I needed the actual YouTube video, but now I think I do, and we just need to use some footage to essentially bring it into like a sphere, like how it has like a little circle. And what we'll do is we'll start an episode where, you know, we'll have it like the movie's playing, right? And maybe we'll have a scene where like he has like an interaction maybe with Deadpool, a small little storyline interaction, and then boom, you know, he's watching it, and then maybe perhaps we can even label it on YouTube, Orangey reviews the Deadpool and Soul movie, you know. um I mean, this is creative ways by still applying background information and showing that, you know, this is completely for educational purposes. You're not out there trying to deceive people at the end of the day. You're trying to make something light and funny, because at the end of the day, if done correctly, I think it could bring in actually real diamond hand holders to your charts. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to need to get YouTube to MP4. Again, you can use whatever source that you feel comfortable with to download that MP4. Again, there's a lot of them out there that you can use for free as well. And some of them just don't work. You know, it is what it is. So let me go ahead and pause the video, and I'm going to get that MP4 file, and then we'll bring it into CapCut. All right, so we're back in CapCut, and we actually just downloaded the footage. So let me go ahead and import that in there real quick. And so yeah, like I was saying was, once you have the actual MP4 file, which I have here, I'll go ahead and import it into my CapCut. Bam. And let's throw that in there like that. All right, cool. So now we got Mr. Orangey here, right? And not only do we got an Orangey, but we got a slate. We have a slate we can use to our discretion. We want to use something long, like pause, by the way. All right, so right here. So that'll be a good slate. I'm gonna cut that there.
How can you do
All right, and then he's talking, and then boom, we'll cut that right there. So I think we have about completely 10 seconds at least of a good slate to use before jump cuts. And then it'll go sometime else in the video where he goes back to the original framing, which is right here. I'll go ahead and cut that as well. Okay, and that gives us a little bit more time. Just a little bit more time. So with that being said, we got a total of like 20 seconds ish, you know, which is plenty enough time to do some fun shit when it comes to just editing. So I'm gonna go ahead and send this out. Now I don't like the timestamp that's like pretty much on the top right there. So anybody knows editing, what you can just do is you can either take it out by just hiding it with his name, or maybe just screenshotting it like that, make it a little bit bigger. At the end of the day, it's going to be cropped anyways.
How can you do that?
So boom, went ahead and did that.
I
And that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to export this footage now. And we're going to export this as specifically like Orange original, okay? And just the video file itself. All right. So now we have video file and we have an audio file. The video file, well, the video file allows us to now see basically the video file allows us to see, obviously, you know, his image, and then now we've created the audio file with 11 laps. Now what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and put it all together. So there's several different softwares that you can use when it comes to like lip syncing specifically. I think this is gonna be a cool idea where I had in mind where he basically starts off his channel, and essentially, and by the way, I don't plan on at all getting this at all monetized, so um, I don't even want to strike on my fucking shit, but um, it is what it is. It's for the sake of fucking educational purposes. Once again, but yeah, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I have like a library of just AI shit that I use, and this is something that you can tap in with me if you get my 101 course. You'll get some of these tools because I literally went hard, long, pause once again, but I spent a lot of time to find these websites, and a lot of these are pay to play, AI tools, but like literally, it's everything you need to essentially make really, really cool shit and really, really cool shit fast, right? So I'm going to go ahead and use the specific lip sync tool that's one of my old time favorites. Here we go. Yep, right there. And I'm going to import that footage alongside with the audio, right? And then this should allow me to have like almost I think a perfect like lip sync. Now the great thing about this particular tool is at first, to be honest with you, I thought it was only used for for your phone, but apparently it's also used for computers as well. And it's not too expensive. So I'm gonna log in real quick while I have you guys off screen here, and then I will jump in and we'll get cooking with this. Now, ideally, the whole point of this, right, is to give it a sense where Orangey is maybe interviewing or maybe doing a review video, and then basically maybe Deadpool himself like has a little moment where he talks shit, right? And then he goes into the video. I think that'd be pretty cool where, people will take it as not LARP, but still creative content that could bring in possible FOMO from an artistic standpoint, So without any further ado, let's go ahead and go to it. So I'm using Dreamface for this particular case study example. Let me go back to my setup here. All right, here we go. And we're going to go ahead and hit the upload, and we're going to upload specifically a video. You can also upload an image if you want, but for this case, I'll be doing a video. So we have the OG original one right here. We just edited. We're going to actually upload that. So that's going to upload right now. It's going to be quick and easy. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and take the audio, which is right here.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit. Look, I heard.
So boom. Perfect. So first, let's get our first clip here where, he's essentially talking. So we got the clip here of his original clip, which is essentially 10 to 20 seconds long. And he does a lot of, what's it called, sharp cuts anyways in his videos. So I'm going to click on audio here. I'm going to go to upload from this device. And I will choose the voice that I just listened to.
And as you can see, I had a lot of.
So we'll go ahead and get the new one, which is 11 lamps right here, open.
Look, I heard about some project.
Perfect. And click on generate. So this particular AI tool, this does lip syncing. For me, to be honest with you, is one of the best tools I've used. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if they have referral commissions, because the way I'm talking about them, they should definitely give me a referral commission if you guys are fucking with them. So I'm gonna check before I drop the link in my description. But all in all, this allows you to get a pretty solid like lip sync to a audio generalist, from 11 Labs or any other particular source that you want to use. The idea now is we have him come on, boom, say this, and then maybe Deadpool, right, is like doing something where he's just like, in his own little world, he overhears Orangey talking shit, and then boom, it goes into some type of dialogue, and then boom, it cuts into the movie. We'll make it very simple and fast. So while this is generating, which is not going to take too long, we're going to go into another tool. We'll go to Krea.ai. Krea.ai is another tool I use to essentially create images or videos as well. And you have a really cool way of doing this, honestly. And the way to do that is you're gonna first want to go into your video or image. Now, if you do image, you can pretty much create your almost like a guideline, so to speak, right? A guideline of where to head to next, right? So what we're gonna do here is we're going to. Oops, sorry, my bad. My movie's playing in the background. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So, like I was saying, basically, if you go into here and you're going to basically create a film, you can go to video or images. Images is cool because you can start with the actual image, which in this case, I think it's going to be a good idea considering the fact that we want to kind of stylize this a little bit better. Now, when I was making my Deadpool film, I didn't have access to a lot of this stuff. It was just one particular core program, but it's a lot of things I can use now to my discretion. Well, with that being said, I'm going to actually use the same methods I used previously before anything was out, just so you can kind of get a streamlined thought of how things were and, carries over. Halo 2 was what I used as far as the AI model. And I'll say basically, let's say, hey, Deadpool is in a let's have him doing yoga or some shit, with some girls or some shit. So Deadpool is in a yoga studio, with let's say six pregnant African American women. Deadpool is the instructor. While they sweat and stretch in the yoga studio. Okay, let's see how this turns. So currently we can set up for 1080p, and we'll do a 6-second clip. We don't have a start frame, so let's just cook that up and see what happens. And then meanwhile, what we can do is we can do a couple other generations, just so we're not waiting there for more generations. I think we'll do up to like 4 or 5. We can go back to images and actually copy and paste the exact same prompt. Make sure it's 16:9 because that's the movie ratio, and click on that. This usually is a lot faster, just to see different type of ideas, what might cook up. Some of it may be like what's the word for it? Cartoonisk, right? And some may be like actually cool. So it's really up to you. But you gotta dibble and dabble, basically, right? Dibble dabble. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna pause the video, and actually, you know what? Before I pause the video, let's go back to the lip syncing. Let's check on that process. Let's see if it's done. Oh, looks like it's done. And let's see what we have so far. Hopefully, it's good because I'm literally just not cutting this. Hopefully, just live. I'm gonna cut some of this, but we'll see what happens. All right.
Cool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
Hey, it's not bad. Check it out.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
Boom, perfect. So we're gonna download this clip. It looks pretty believable to me, right? And this is where we can have a situation where Orangey and Deadpool are kind of having like a exchange of words, so to speak, right? So without any further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and download this, and then we're going to go ahead and go back to Korea to see how our Deadpool is cooking up. So let's go back here, and I'm gonna hit download here or save. Bugging out real quick. It's all good. Let me go back to my account here. What the fuck? Gallery creations. Okay. Oh, I'll go back here, and we'll click on download. All right. In the meanwhile, while this is doing its thing, let's go back to 11 Labs. And I mean, not 11 Labs, sorry, man. Let's go back to Korea and see what's going on with the generations. We're still cooking up? Yep, we're still cooking up. Sometimes these could take like 10 to 15 minutes, but just be aware of that. Anyways, once we download Orangey, I'm gonna bring this data into the Final Cut. I mean, to Creative Content. I can't even speak that now. Bring it into CapCut, and then we're gonna go back into Deadpool and get that information and sync this together to make this little like intro. All right, I'm gonna pause for a second. All right, so we're back in CapCut, right? And I went ahead and brought the footage in. Let's see how it looks. Sounds. It looks.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
Boom. Right? Rage baity. And, you know, even if he denies what he says, this is not like he positively, you know, gave it positive reinforcement. So, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, let's go into now Deadpool. All right, so now we're back, and we actually have the scenes now generated on Kriya that gave us literally these women in a yoga studio while Deadpool's training them. Check this out. Now there's no sound, but we can work on that soon. All right, so there's that version there that got cooked up. There was this one right here, right? And then there's also this one right here. Right, so we have essentially 3 different versions. I think one of my favorite ones is this one right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little audio to it and see what happens. Now, granted, when I was doing the Deadpool movie, I didn't even have the pleasure of getting just a simple click to add audio sound. That's something that's completely new. I have also other tools that does this for me, but it's also good just to have, you know, a set of reference of audio. We call it B-roll audio sometimes. Just so you can finesse it or add it in or just, you know, keep it as is. So we'll see what it cooks up for this, if anything. But ideally, the question is how we're gonna get it so that way he's in a dance studio, you know, with these pregnant women, and then, you know, goes into this orangey situation and then him going back and forth. I imagine there'd be a situation where he gets interrupted from his work line, and then has to address orangey on like some type of Zoom or some type of, you know, video conference or Discord call. So I'm gonna try to cook this up super fast. I don't want this video to be too long. This is again a behind the scenes, but hopefully, you know, you'll like it. So let's go ahead and see if there's any audio that got cooked up. So I got a couple audio clips. Nothing really successfully like amazing. Here, I'll play it. Like that came from that one, and you know this one's kind of stuck. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I don't think these are very usable, so I'm definitely gonna use my own. Now, what I think I can do is, I'll start off with a rage bait where Orangey has his, you know, his dialogue, and then we'll go right into basically the scene. And I think the good scene would be seeing him from the back. Pause. Oh no. We're gonna download this clip right here and bring it into our CapCut as well. So it starts off like that, and then it goes into the shot where basically it's this over the shoulder shot in a sense. So I'll download that one as well. And we're gonna add some music to this as well, so it all makes sense at the end of the day, because this is kind of random. So let's throw it in right into the timeline, right? And that's the first clip. The second clip. There we go. Now we got both clips on the line there. Let's see how it sounds. And from the top.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
So boom, we'll kill the audio so it doesn't sound so like demonic.
Into that bullshit.
All right, cool. And then, you know, what would be a good transition sound? You know, I'm trying to think here. A good transition sound. He says after that bullshit. You know, I think if you have like okay, I think I got it. And then hopefully we can make this work. So I'm seeing an image where like, and this is all in my head, right? And this kind of shows how fucked up my head is, I guess. But Deadpool in a so before we get to the yoga studio, Deadpool is seen in the bathroom, using a bathroom, sitting down, reading a magazine, trying to have a large stool. While appearing be constipated. So let's put that in there. And this is going to be from, again, we'll use the no other but Halo. And we'll make sure that's 720, and we'll go ahead and start that up. So we'll generate a couple different ideas like that to see, hopefully we can, come up. My idea is that once he says this, right, then we have like where Deadpool literally is taking a shit, right? And all you hear is, oh, and then maybe there's a close up where it goes into the magazine, and then he may be to a situation where the magazine either goes down and he has a set of dialogue where he's like, well, Arnie doesn't like my shit, but then he kind of transitions to his job, and then it shows him Joe's job, and then he can kind of go back into the thing. It's just something to titillate the audience, to bring them into the contract and see if they like it. So this is part of the work that a lot of people just don't like to fucking do. And I'm showing you for 4K literally how to do it. Now it looks like a couple of the generations came out already of Deadpool basically in the bathroom looking at the magazines. I wanted to go a little bit further and see if I could find him maybe holding on the walls, making it appear like he's really like got some shit in his stomach, and then we can get into the storyline. So just gonna wait for a second for that to generate. All right, so we got the clip we needed, I think, where he's basically in the bathroom stall and he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta hold the wall because I gotta take this shit." I just found a really cool, realistic shit sound, and I think this is gonna be a perfect transition to when Orangey's AI character says that shit, and then boom, transitions to that. Does a little sound dialogue, goes into the whole playful thing with the yoga thing, and then goes right into the movie, and then boom, we got it. All right, so now we got the incredible sound. This is incredibly nasty as hell, but hey, we gotta make this shit happen. So he says shit, and then it goes right into the fucking Deadpool, literally having a shit, but the noises is gonna be incredibly nasty. We'll even add his voice in there in a second. So how it goes like this.
Into that bullshit.
Now what we need to do though is make some songs, bring the Deadpool character's voice into play. I've already done the necessary things in order to create the clone of this character. So I'm gonna go ahead and include a text to speech again, and I have DP set up for Deadpool. So I'll go ahead and make sure that's selected. And then for this, I'm just gonna simply say, oh my gosh. I can't stand. He'll say, "Oh my gosh, um, excuse me, oh my god," or he'll say, "Oh my god, excuse me." Couple, and you know what? Just a little heads up, just a little FYI. Just you can do this too, and it's a little cheat code, by the way, especially when it comes to storytelling. If you have an idea for like a what's it called? Line of a character and you're not obviously a writer, you can say into ChatGPT, take the persona, and I'll make it so you can see this actually. Here you go. Take the persona of a Deadpool Marvel writer. He's in the bathroom taking a poop. This is a transition to Orangey, the KOLs, talking about his crypto movie is shit, which should be a good transition to his words while he uses the bathroom going number 2. Let's make a funny satire line here where Deadpool talks while this is happening. So far, what I have is then, oh my god, excuse me, then punchline. Meanwhile, Reminder, poop sounds are being heard while he says this as he is using the restroom. All right, let's see what this comes out to be. Absolutely. All right, so it's gonna give us a line. Oh my god, excuse me. Pretty sure that the last NFT I ate just rubbed my colon. All right, that's pretty cool. Bro. Or excuse me, didn't know Solana had a brown paper wallet. Excuse me, yep, that's dab dump. Excuse me, yep, just printing my fresh pile. I like this one better, Ryan. This one says, "Excuse me, just a minute. Fresh. Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill." Yeah, I think that's cool. It kind of like goes towards the narrative of the story. So now I'll go back into text to speech, and let's go ahead and generate this. See how it sounds like. Hopefully, we got our Deadpool voice.
Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
I don't mind that one. I think that one's not bad, to be honest with you. I'll download that, but I would like to check another one.
Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
Let's do this. I like that. I'm gonna download that one as well. However, let's do and try out their new renditions, which is basically 11v3, which currently has that enhanced audio feature. Let's just see, because he's got the clear throat thing. Let's see how that sounds. Here we go.
Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
So, though these sound more humanistic, they don't sound like my character too much. Let me try regenerating with the robust real quick.
Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
A little better. See this next one.
Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
So I'm gonna download that one and see how that goes. So I have a couple different versions to use for this scene here. 3 different versions at that, I believe. 11 lab. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring them all in. Boom. And to see how they play with them. So let's go this first one here.
Bullshit.
Excuse me, just excuse me, just minting a fresh pile.
So that won't work. He sounds kind of dull, so we won't even entertain that one. Let's try this one.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool.
Oops, wrong one. Let's do that again. Hold on, let's go back to our file here. And there we are. Okay. Let's see how this sounds.
Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
Not bad. Let's try the next one here. Use this one real quick to see how it sounds.
That bullshit.
Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens.
All right, I like that. I think the shit sound though should continue to go while like he's continuing this shit.
A fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill. Pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
All right, perfect. Yeah, that will do. That's cool. And so what we'll do here with this is he starts with the intro. He says no roadmap, no just roadkill. I think I could totally see just like some text on the line, and then boom, goes right into the movie. So let's go ahead and just really quickly add that, and we should be all done. So
Nope.
Right there, we'll put no roadmap
No roadmap.
there.
Just roadkill.
Cool. So we'll put no roadmap here. ROAD, by the way, not ROAD. Road. No roadmap.
Just roadkill.
Just roadkill. All right, beautiful. And we'll throw the font to be maybe like that one there. I'll copy that attribute and paste it here. And voila.
No roadmap, just roadkill.
And then boom, go right into the movie. I think that would be perfect to people to kind of.
That, dear boy, is a tramp stamp.
That'd be perfect. All right, so we got it now. And this is literally how you would essentially create a non-LARPing project by using an influencer. Boom. I'll play the tape real quick.
Look, I heard about some project called Deadpool on Solana. Don't tell me you're actually going to ape into that bullshit.
Excuse me, just minting a fresh pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
That, dear boy, is a tramp.
Just roadkill.
That, dear boy,
Perfect, perfect.
is
Pile of utility tokens. No roadmap, just roadkill.
Perfect, perfect. And that's it. That is it. That's all we need. You know? And we have enough there just to bring in enough people to be like, what the fuck is this? You know? And we'll drop the behind the scenes by it. So this is it, guys. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, it's not financial advice. This simply is a way you can use a KOL without having to pay them and to show your project in a non-LARPing way, in a creative way at that. And also to support the narrative of further episodes and other shit going down the line if people fuck with it. But nobody's cooking like me no more. So that's why I wanted to give you guys an hour of just simple cook. I'm going to put the video out and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Again, thank you so much for your time. I'm not a financial advisor. My name is Uncle Warren the Guru. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll see you on the other side. And check out the project, Deadpool and Solana. Let's go.